In this video, we're going to cover some questions that you wrote in the comments under my videos about inch plant, Tradescantia, different varieties, and some of these questions will be a little bit old. However, they are so useful, I believe, for everyone. That's why I include them in this video. So let's jump straight in, because this video, I don't want to make it very long, but I would really like to address some of the questions that will help you grow lush and full pots of Tradescantias. So the first question, what did you do with the old original plant you took the cuttings from? And this is about the video that, I had this Tradescantia and I was showing you how you can make cuttings and propagate the plant. It refers to the mother plant. So what I do with it, I just leave it like that with the older stems in the pot. I keep watering it, taking care of it as if it's a normal, regular plant, and it grows. It grows more because from the old buds on the stems, they grow new stems, new leaves, and you can even propagate it this way as well. And if you will put the mother plant directly under the very indirect bright area, it will even grow fuller and better. So you can just keep the plant, the mother plant, and propagate the cuttings separately. Next one. Great video tips. Is there a time of year that it shouldn't be transplanted? Mine needs to be repotted, but it's winter and dark and gloomy even in the windows. Thanks. Yes, I believe all plants should be transplanted in warmer seasons, and this means spring, early summer maybe, and autumn, beginning of the autumn when the weather is still warm. However, and there is another question that I will refer to it a little bit later. So if you need to, if there is an urgent need to repot, to transplant your plants, yes, you can do it in winter as well. Just make sure that you will put your plant in a warmer area if you have some. And of course, the sun and sunlight is a problem for all of us, for many of us, if you're not living in South American countries, maybe. So yes, that will be a problem. You need just to make sure that maybe you can even introduce more grow lights in winter months, not to grow your Tradescantias leggy, especially if they suffer a lot. Let's move on to the next question. How often should I water once potted? So once potted, you water it directly in that moment after you repot or basically plant your cuttings. You water the soil at that moment, and then the next time you need to water it when the soil is dry. And you can check by different methods. I have covered it in so many videos. I don't want to go into this watering question again, because I believe it's the longest question and answer about the plants in general, and I'm even thinking to turn this into a long 1-hour video to cover literally every single question about watering. But basically you need to keep the soil moist. That's the rule. So you need to understand when the soil gets dry and then you water it. But especially in the beginning, when you repot or plant the cuttings, the soil needs to stay slightly moist. So don't make it dry because the roots may be damaged. Next question. I repotted mine and it's dying. Repotting, transplanting is one of the most stressful actions that can happen to plants. They get to readjust themselves to the soil, to the pot, to the environment, to the whole stress of being taken out of their pot, and basically the roots get damaged a little bit, they get a little bit stressed, and they need time to adjust. So you need to kind of differentiate if it's really dying and you need to save it, or it's a little bit wilted, a little bit looking not so healthy because of the stress. If the second is the case with your plant, just give it time. Give it 2 or 3 days, maybe a week, and you will see that the plant will recover and will start growing. But if you see that, there are also cases when some people could repot their plant and either damage the roots too much or they over-water it right in that moment. And then the plant starts to get wilted and get rotten. So if you really see that the plant is struggling and most probably will not recover, maybe if you still have some healthy stems left, you can take some cuttings and this way propagate and save a plant, or at least have a plan B, a backup, if the mother plant dies. So next one. Mine is growing too slow. Tradescantias are known for plants for beginners because they usually grow fast. So if your plant is not growing, it can be mostly, I would say, for three reasons. And one is that the plant was growing in its pot for so many years, it was never repotted into a bigger one, so the roots don't really have space to grow. And this also kind of slows down the growth. So maybe consider repotting if that's the case. Cause number two can be the conditions mostly related to the sunlight. If it's in the shade, again, you will see slow growth, but also the growth will be leggy. So if that's the case, then it's most probably the sunlight. And the third one can be lack of nutrients. Maybe you have repotted it recently, 6 months or so, but you have never fertilized it. So maybe, fertilize it and see if this will change the environment and the growth speed, because Tradescantias usually are growing like weeds and it's so easy to get a full pot in a very short period of time. Maybe just within a year you can have, from small little cuttings, you can have full pots. So maybe one of these three can help you. By the way, if you are watching till now, consider subscribing, like and share the video with the people you know that are interested in plants, because this way we reach more people that are interested in growing houseplants for free. So the question, can I keep it growing in water without any soil? Well, I guess you refer to hydroponics, where you just have water and then you can even grow them in glass, in jars, and you can see the roots growing. Tradescantias may be grown like this, however, you will need to fertilize it constantly, and it's not a normal usual fertilizer that we use for our houseplants. You should pick another fertilizer that is specifically made for hydroponics. And yes, I believe you can grow them, because even if you can test the cuttings, if you put the cuttings in the water, for months they can grow roots and they will grow themselves as well. But make sure you fertilize it, because only in water without any fertilizer they will lack nutrients and they will not grow properly. My plant right now is super sad and she needs help and I don't know what to do. Her pot is tiny and I know she needs repotting, but I read not to at this time of the year. I was going to cut her some and regrow, but I don't want to hurt her either. And this is the question that in the beginning I said I want to answer this later, because yes, sometimes, of course, the rule of thumb is that yes, we repot, we plant, and the whole season starts in the spring. So starting from March, when the temperature goes up a little bit, it's warmer and the plants also start to grow. They also feel, that the sunlight, the daylight is in general longer and the conditions are much better to grow. However, if you see that there is really an urgent need of repotting, otherwise your plant will suffer so much that you can lose half of the plant or maybe the whole plant, yes, repot them in winter as well. I do it myself too. It's not the best choice, of course, but if it's urgent, if there was no time to repot it in autumn, do it in winter. The only thing that I would like to ask you to do is make sure that you will put your plant in a warm place and as close to the sunlight as possible. But I believe here it's also about winter, so make sure that the plant doesn't touch the cold glass of the windows. Thanks. I have issues with leggy Tradescantia. I'm really trying to grow them bushier, but the light in my house is not great. I have it near an east-facing window and a grow light nearby. Yes, it may be the case that still we make sure that we can provide the most sunlight that we can, but it's still not enough for the plants. And to be honest, the light that we see and the plants see is totally different, and sometimes it's very hard to understand if it's enough or not enough. And if you have a grow light, and I had it myself, I thought this grow light can solve the issue. However, when I really measured the light, and there are some meters that you can measure the light for the plants, you can see that some are not strong enough, especially if they're not very professional lights. If you buy cheap lights on Amazon, they will not do the job. So first, I would recommend to check the light with these meters and maybe introduce another light. Sometimes you just need to wait until warmer days and months with the sunlight, and you just trim them back and let them regrow bushier. Maybe that can also be the case with you. Clever idea, but what about loosening up the roots? Shouldn't this be done when planting most everything, especially when plants are root bound already? So this refers to the video when I showed how to repot Tradescantias easy without transplant shock, where basically you put the plant in the soil and then, so basically you create a hole with the size of your plant and then you put it directly in this hole, and this way you are kind of avoiding the transplant shock. However, in this case, yes, indeed, you need to kind of massage the roots a little bit. You don't need to really go deep in the roots and pull them apart, but yes, massage them slightly with your fingers so that the roots are stopping from, growing in a root bound way, so round and round in circles, but they will spread out a little bit. But again, make sure that you do not really rip them apart, because this way you will damage the roots and then the plant will have the transplant shock. Will it grow in artificial light? Yes, I believe artificial light, you mean grow light, and yes, if you choose the right one, absolutely. There are people who grow their whole collection of plants in the kellers just with grow lights, and yes, you can definitely do so. Just choose the right, not the right, but maybe a good quality grow light, and then yes, it is absolutely possible. Can you trim the damaged leaves? Yes, you can do it. If the leaves are yellow, brown, definitely you can do it. But I believe if it's the oldest ones, oldest leaves, then it's a natural process. You can trim it. But if you see that the leaves in the middle of the stem are getting yellow, brown, maybe even black, there may be a problem. So trimming can solve the aesthetic problem, but maybe there is a deeper problem that you need to look into not to lose your plant, and it can be root rot or stem rot, so, or even an insect or a disease. So make sure that you also know the reason why the leaves are damaged. Or if you mean damage, just damage like physical damage, yes, absolutely, you can do so as well. And that was my last question and answer, and I hope this was useful. I'm very sorry that I cannot answer all these questions in time on the same day or within a week, because unfortunately life is so busy, but I read all your comments and all your questions, and the most useful ones that I believe will be so much helpful for so many other people. I will be regularly doing this kind of Q&A sessions when I reply to your questions live like this in the video. I believe talking and explaining you is even way better than just writing a text in your comment, but I will try to reply both in the comments and also like this in a video. And if you have any other questions related to inch plants, Tradescantias, please write them down under this video and I will reply to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching. Stay passionate about plants, and I will see you in the next one.